Apple recently released their flagship iPhone 14 series. I think it was in September when the latest iPhone 14 series of phones were released. And man, I have tried to avoid them like a plague because I know that, getting the latest iPhone is often not a sound financial decision. So I have not even looked at them. But man, the devil found his way to me. A couple of weeks back, I had lunch with a friend and then he came with one of those phones. In fact, it was the iPhone 14 Pro Max that he came with. And man, that phone is smooth. It has, a studio in it. You can play an organ in it. It's got a guitar in it. It's got all these features and it's fast and it's beautiful. It's shiny too. And I thought perhaps, I could justify why I need one, I've worked hard in the year. I like to think so. My birthday is coming. Christmas is coming. I deserve it, But then when I go onto my spreadsheet, the numbers were not balancing. After all, we are already in November and I've not really met my, my savings target for the year. So I couldn't really justify why I could get that new phone because my phone is it's a bit old, but it's still working quite well. So that got me thinking as to how can I actually get one of these machines, without paying for it. And so in this video, I'll be sharing with you how you can get the latest iPhone 14 series of phones at £0. Yes, and I mean it. I got the latest iPhone 14 Pro for £0. Yes, you heard me right. Zilch. Nada. What other language do you know? Let me know. So let's dig in. The three main ways to finance a phone in the UK or indeed the West is 1, to pay cash for it, or 2, to get it on credit, or 3, to get it for £0. To pay cash for a phone is pretty, straightforward. Go into your savings account if you've got some money saved, you get it, you pay with your debit card or, you take the money cash and then you pay for it. But that may not be, desirable because the latest iPhones cost, at least £1,001 if you're getting the, the iPhone 14 Pro, which is what I got. It will cost you about £1,001. And to take £1,001 out of your savings to go buy it may not be, ideal because it may have taken you, 2 months or 3 months or even 4 months to save for it. So you have to, consider, is getting the latest iPhone worth, 3 months of my labor, or 3 months of savings? Because savings is really hard, but spending is really easy. And it will take you another few months to build that savings. So you may actually be discouraged, so that may not be a desirable option. The second option, still on cash payment, would be that, maybe you do an extra shift or you take on an extra job in order to raise the money to buy the phone. Still, that is your labor's worth. How much are you paid per hour? £20, £30, £50 maybe. Is getting the latest iPhone worth that labor? And also the opportunity cost. Taking that 1,100 or 1,002 or 1,005 to buy the phone. That money could have been invested in something else and would have generated you more. So you ought to do the, to balance it out between fulfilling your desires and then, and then investing the money elsewhere. So that is one. The second option to financing the latest iPhone is to get it on credit. And there are several ways to do this. One, you could use a credit card. So you go to the shop, pay it with your credit card, and then that's it. But this can be, a bit risky because with a credit card, you have to pay it off at the end of the month. If not, interest starts accumulating. And interests are currently around maybe 20%, 22%. And that can hurt, if you don't pay it off. You can pay the minimum payment, but interest will accumulate on the remaining principal. So you want to be aware of that. The second option to getting the iPhone on credit is to go for a phone contract. And that is a very popular method here in the UK. And that you go to a service provider and then, get the latest iPhone and they would usually give you a SIM card in addition. And you pay it over a set period of time, usually 24 months or 36 months. And I think the latest, cheapest deal on the market, you pay about $1,004 over 2 years for the phone and the SIM card, giving you about 100 gigabytes of data. And come to think of it, it's really not a very bad deal because if you're paying $1,004 over 2 years for the phone and a SIM card, it works out that, $1,001 for the iPhone 14 Pro and then $300 for the SIM card. over 2 years. So that works out to be about £12.5 per month. And I think that's not very bad. So what that means is that every month you pay about £58 and you get the phone and the SIM card to use over the period. I mean, so that can be a good option also. The third option is to actually pay 0% interest on the phone you are getting. And here you can either go to a phone shop, which will give you the iPhone for you to pay over a period of time. Usually there is no interest on the credit they are giving you. So currently Apple has one through Barclays, whereby you get the phone, whatever phone you go for, and then you pay over, say, 24 months or 36 months, and then you pay it every month. But it is calculated in a way that if the phone costs $1,001 or $1,004, you don't pay any interest over the period. So that can be, a good deal also. Another option is to get a 0% purchase credit card. For a 0% purchase credit card, it works out in a way that you get or you apply for a 0% purchase credit card and then use that to buy the phone. But then every month you pay, a set amount so that by the end of the 0% period, which, currently the longest one is also by Barclays, and it's about 25 months. So if you're getting the iPhone 14 on the 0% credit card, then you spread it over the 25 months and then you pay that. If you think you cannot pay that amount, you can pay the minimum payment, but make sure that at the end of the period, you have the remainder of the money to pay it off. So that can also be a good option because at the end of the day, you're not paying any interest. The thing to know about all of these options so far is that you must have a good credit score in order to, access these credit facilities, because they will do some, credit checks, and that can, affect your credit score for a bit. It can also be a good way for you to build some credit, in order to get a mortgage in the future, to get some credit score. But my advice would be that if you don't need the phone, then don't use that as an excuse, as much as I tried, to get the latest iPhone. And that lists my final option of how I got the latest iPhone 14 Pro for £0. Yes, so this is what I did. I had the 0% purchase credit card from Barclays, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below of how you can also get it. So I got that credit card for 0% and then went to the iPhone shop and then bought the phone with the purchase, the 0% purchase credit card. But then I had the money sitting in my account. So instead of paying cash for it, I used the 0% credit card to pay for it. And now used the money that I would have otherwise used to pay for the phone to put into a high-paying interest savings account. So the money is in my account, but I opened a new bank account with Marcus, really, which is by Goldman Sachs. And I'll put a link to that also in the description box below. And they are currently offering 2.5% interest. So this is what I explained in my former video as stoozing. I took a loan at 0% and then put it in an account that is paying me 2.5% interest. And I am using the interest from that savings to pay for the phone. So at the end of the day, my money is still sitting in my account. It's not being affected. I think currently I earn about £104 interest on my savings in Marcus. And there are several other banks that offer, high interest rates. If you've not seen my video on that, do check it out. HSBC offers, I think, about 2.1%. NatWest has an account that will offer you about 3%. Barclays has an account that will offer you 5%. There are several of these ones. And at the end of the day, I use the interest from these savings, from this saving account, to pay for the phone. So every month, after earning £104 on interest, I pay for the phone, which is about £54. I pay for it and still have something from the interest that I'm earning on my savings. And that is what you can do. In the end, you still have your money, your savings untouched. You are simply using the interest from your savings to pay for the phone. Another option, which I've also explained in a previous video, is to use points from your credit card. I have the American Express, the British Airways American Express credit card, or you can also have the Nectar paying, credit card from American Express. With that, you earn points for every spending, and the points you can convert into Nectar points to buy the phone for free on Argos or any other shop that accepts Nectar. The problem with that is that it takes time to build these points, and it requires discipline not to spend it. So that can be, a laborious process. But with Stoozin, you simply take the money you have into a high interest paying savings account and then use the interest on that account to pay for the phone. And that is what I have done. I know that in this example, I've used an iPhone, which is exactly what I did, but it also applies to so many things in our lives. Is there anything that you are thinking of getting but don't want to pay cash for? Or, could you earn an interest on an investment, on a savings? And now we are in a good time where, because of soaring cost of living crisis, interest rates are also high. So you can easily get 5% in an account and then use that to pay for something else. So I hope you found this video helpful. But if there are any other means which you use to get things for free or to pay things without your own physical cash, please do let me know in the comments section. And I look forward to engaging with you. Here on Diaspora Careers and Investments, we share all the financial tips that you need to know. I hope you've been blessed, and until we meet again, bye for now.